Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and check this out. This is from iTrustCapital. We've been talking a lot about the XRP ETFs, but here they're talking about the cons of XRP ETFs, and this is part of the reason I don't do the ETFs. Now, for a lot of people, I understand why they do it. It's going to open up, or it is opening up, this investment to a lot of people that would never be comfortable wading through all of the things in crypto like custody or don't want to do a hard wallet and all that. And so I get it. It's for a lot of people. It's not for me. And here's a couple of the reasons. First of all, you don't own the XRP. You own shares in an ETF that owns XRP. You have fees. Then here's a big one though. Limited trading hours. The stock market, which is where these ETFs are traded, is 5 days a week. Crypto is every day of the week if you own your own crypto exchanges and if you own your own XRP. You can. So let's say hypothetically that on a Sunday night, XRP went up $1 and you wanted to sell. If you own it, if you hold the actual XRP and you have it on, you can trade on crypto exchanges. But if you're in the ETF, you would not be able to sell until the market opens on Monday morning. That's a huge factor for me. So you don't have as much control over your investment from that perspective. So this is one of the many reasons that I have an iTrustCapital account, because I get free institutional grade custody. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about the hard wallets and all the passphrases and all that stuff. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. So if you want to open an account and sleep well at night like I do, go to the website is itrustcapital.com/XRP Army, and it'll take you to my page here. You can get a $100 funding bonus as well. You can open up an IRA or a premium custody account. That's how I roll. Okay, by the way, every Thanksgiving, I have one Bloody Mary in the morning. And today, I'm having my Bloody Mary while you listen. I forget how good these things are. Okay, we've got a 218 XRP. Market's kind of boring right now, but this isn't boring. As you know, we had 2 National Guardsmen killed yesterday, and so I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. We all know and love John Deaton, who helped fight when the SEC sued Ripple over XRP, and we know that John's pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto, and all that stuff. So it's important to go and donate to John Deaton. I donated to John Deaton. I plan to donate more. You can do that. What I highlighted here is a video of Ed Markey. Not only was Ed Markey, the guy, apparently the guy who killed the 2 National Guardsmen was an Afghanistan refugee who was let in by our politicians like Ed Markey. This is a video. I'm not going to play it. You need to watch the whole thing, but they didn't just let them in, folks. They let them in and intended for you and I, the taxpayer, to pay for their living expenses. It's all in the clip. So you should donate to John Deaton like America depends on it, because in my opinion, it kind of does. Go to johndeatonforsenate.com to do that. Check this out from Ripple.
The UK is one of the world's leading international financial centres, so when it leans into crypto, this matters. Hi, I'm Matt Osborne, Policy Director for Europe at Ripple, and this is Crypto in 1 minute. The UK is now acting to realise the benefits of crypto technology. The government and regulators are working to bring clarity to the industry. They're engaging with leading players, both homegrown and global, and that's a huge step forward. We're starting to see the results already, with leading UK financial institutions exploring what crypto means for their businesses. Though the UK is a little behind other jurisdictions, it actually has a second mover advantage, meaning it can look to other regions to learn what's worked and what hasn't. For example, the UK plans to allow overseas stablecoins like RLUSD to be used locally, supporting the UK's role as an international hub. Of course, challenges remain. The new framework needs to be implemented at pace, and the Bank of England has been cautious on stablecoins, though it's showing signs of a more constructive approach. The UK is recognising that proportionate, innovation-friendly rules are essential. If the UK follows through, it's on track to become a global leader in digital assets.
I think the writing's pretty on the wall. Now, as I keep telling you, we're going to get legislation. All these politicians on both sides know that they won't get elected in the midterms if they don't sign off on this legislation passing. And here's Brian Armstrong from Coinbase talking about where the legislation is.
Yeah, well, we had great meetings with the Democrats in the Senate and on the Republican side today. And the good news is that there's strong bipartisan support and will to get this market structure legislation done. It's important for America, and the 50 million Americans who've used crypto want to see it get done. And so one date we heard floated was, let's try to get this markup done before Thanksgiving. I think that there's 90% of the issues are already aligned on and agreed, and there's draft text going back and forth, a lot of great cross-functional collaboration happening. That last 10% are the remaining issues, and everyone committed to get in the room together and work it out, and hopefully we'll see some draft text or get it out of committee by Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, we had great meetings with the...
Okay, so I'm thinking that this thing is done. They may try to get this done before the end of the year. That would make the market boom because nobody's really expecting it to happen. I'm sitting here looking at my deer hunting cameras because something keeps setting them off, but I don't know what it is because I don't see any deer in the photos. Gonna have to look closer into that. This is Peter Brandt right here, who does not even like XRP, but he's a Wall Street chart guy. Says, hey, crypto traders, do not despair. There are two coins that I think could do quite well in the months to come, and he's got one of the XRP charts right there. I like it when we hear stuff like that from people that don't even like XRP. This month's RLUSD independent attestation is now live. Recent highlights, it hit 1 billion in market cap. Let's see anything else interesting here. Hamilton Lane Hillscope Fund gained instant RLUSD liquidity through integrations with VanEck's V-Bill. Bitnomial accepting it. You can see it, folks. This thing has climbed. Last time I checked, it was at number 60 on CoinMarketCap. Make no mistake, RLUSD will be probably the top stable coin before it's over, but it will be in the top 3 here shortly, probably by the end of 2026 anyway. Look at this. ETH went from single digits, $9 to 361 to triple digits in 6 months. Solana did it in 9 months, $2 to $187. But yet they want to tell you it's crazy to think XRP can do similar moves. It's not crazy. I've seen a lot of crazy in crypto in a good way and a bad way. It can move that fast. We close out for the holiday. This is Chad Steingraber. We close out for the holiday at almost a cumulative total of $500 million in ETF volume. Incredible. We should see another 15-ish million in XRP needed to be acquired in order to back the funds. These ETFs are going to be huge. Now, there is a major crypto attack underway. I'm going to show you a video that spells it all out in the group. Let's go through some of it here. First, there are no coincidences, folks. Tether holds 116 tons of gold, now the world's largest independent gold holder. Okay, first you got that. Now, do you remember 1010? Tom Lee calls it a glitch. It was not a glitch. It was a coordinated attack. Operation Chokepoint 3.0 is what I think is going on, a shadow attack on crypto. And I sure do want to know, he's saying that 1/3 of market makers were taken out on 1010. If that's true, that means a lot of companies were taken out, and we haven't seen any in the headlines, so you have to wonder who is upside down that just hasn't let anyone know yet, and what are they up to?
So crypto had been a leading indicator for actually most of the last 5 years. But on October 10th, crypto had what I would call Armageddon, a flash event, but it led to a liquidation that was never seen in the 15 years history of Bitcoin. About a third of the market makers went out of business that day. Almost 2 million accounts went to zero.
Yeah.
And it was because of a pricing error, what I would call a glitch. It led to what they call auto
you've
deleveraging.
definitely made that case that it definitely seems as if there was something in the kind of market maker functioning that got fouled. Yeah. Now, that being said, the reason you can have all those accounts auto-liquidated is because there were that many accounts with that much leverage that got Bitcoin up to where it was, above 120.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so it's not as if it happened in a vacuum.
Yeah. So in a way, it means crypto represents really a very precise measurement of risk appetite, because there's so much more leverage. And that got wiped out.
Right.
That last time it happened in 2022, it took 8 weeks before people sort of touch their toes back in. I think that's where we are. We're near a bottom. But now I don't think crypto leads. Crypto is lagging because it's really the AI that...
All right. So I'll show you this, and then we'll go into the group, and I'll show you what I think is really going on in a great video that spells it out. I think we're watching Operation Chokepoint 3.0, but I'm kind of conflicted, and here's why. For years, I've been telling you something doesn't make sense. Offshore Tether never gets attacked. Ethereum never gets attacked. The government knows who the 4 Satoshis are, but pretend like they don't. I've always wondered, and I've told you this, I've always wondered if, because it's obvious, a lot of this is government or shadow government operations, obviously. I've always wondered if their plan would involve allowing these things to live, or if their plan would be to destroy these prototypes and some of these things that they intentionally allowed to test this system. I've always wondered if they would destroy them once we were about to get regulations and actually the real plan was going to be initiated. But here's the things going on. First, you've got the Fed, who's obviously one of the last holdouts trying to stop Trump. They aren't lowering interest rates near as fast as they should. But they're going to be going out soon. But you had the 1010 shadow attack on crypto. Then JP Morgan attacks MicroStrategy. Then S&P downgrades Tether, which I'll show you in a minute. JP Morgan debanks Jack Mallers. And I said the deep state banking cabal isn't going to give up. The war continues. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about this, and we'll get more specific in the group. Go to daixrp.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these YouTube videos, or you can subscribe through X by just hitting the subscribe button. You'll get the full video and the extended video with no commercials. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.